Welcome back to Ag Day. Two big stories going on this morning. One is the extreme cold in the eastern parts of the country. There were some locations setting record lows and record cold high temperatures during the day across parts of the Northeast during the past 24 hours. And the big storm out west is the second big story. That continues to pound areas from Northern California on up through Oregon and Washington. High winds along the coast continue at times, and the heavy mountain snows will continue as well. But the north over the past couple of weeks, the only real cool area to start the week is going to be in the Great Lakes states. The heat continues out west and warm, muggy conditions in the southeastern parts of the country. Obviously, the best chance for any general rains would be closer to that jet stream. Temperatures this week above normal from Minnesota back through Nevada. That warmth will begin to shift across the Great Lakes later in the week. Good morning to you and welcome back to Ag Day. A couple of domes of high pressure dominating the middle of the country. That's also producing some very cold air all the way southward into parts of Texas. It's also spreading through the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. Much colder air behind the front than there is in front of it. Not a lot of rain still along this front, but there are some scattered areas of showers along the front, as you can see, and along the southern end. We might even see some thunderstorms out of that. But it is still going to be pretty warm out ahead of the front. And again, the cold front started off in the far western plains, moved a little bit farther east yesterday with the severe weather outbreak, and now it's farther east yet. Now, the big thing here is, though, this main area of low pressure is now beginning to weaken, and the secondary one is going to start to take over. So I think our chances for severe weather are a little less today than they have been the past couple of days, and eventually we're going to see by Saturday probably the severe weather outbreak, an even colder shot of air to most of the plains and eventually into the east than this first batch. So basically colder and colder for the eastern two-thirds of the country over this coming week. Here's the precipitation estimate over the past 24 hours. You can see we have seen some amounts across parts of Illinois, Indiana, into the Great Lakes, and widely scattered amounts out west, but this is going to be increasing as we add on the next 24 hours from our computer model. Some decent amounts in eastern Canada there. Most of that stays north of the border, though. But you can see some decent amounts of mainly rain from North Dakota southward into Kansas. You know, in most cases, we're talking a half inch or so, maybe in some spots an inch. But this whole system will be increasing its moisture over the next several days. Here's the way high temperatures are shaping up today. You can see 40s in parts of the central and eastern Great Lakes, bringing some lake effect snows behind all of this as we head through the second half of the week and into the weekend, more than likely as well. This could be a decent warm-up, at least for the central and southern Rockies, as we head through the weekend as well. Let's check out things then as we look at temperatures this week. I'm going to go below normal for most of the country, as you can see, all the way back into Utah, central Arizona, eastern Iowa. The huge story is going to be Hurricane Irene, which is heading up the eastern seaboard, and actually since yesterday we've taken the track slightly to the west, which is not good news for far eastern North Carolina, not good news for Delaware, eastern Maryland, even New York City and Long Island. I don't think that's good news either. You can see it. Well, thanks, Clinton. It took Isaac a while to really get organized, but it has become a hurricane now in the central Gulf of Mexico, still heading toward New Orleans at this point. But, of course, anybody from the panhandle of Florida right through Louisiana have to keep an eye on this thing. Right now, it looks like Hurricane Isaac is going to hit somewhere just near or west of the Mississippi Delta, which is good news for New Orleans because that means you don't quite Of course, we have the jet stream that we always look at as we start next week, but then we have something that doesn't always follow the jet stream, and that is a tropical system. Tropical storm or hurricane Isaac will be in the eastern Gulf. And again, like I pointed out, this could be anywhere from just east of Florida to the central Gulf. And so if you live down in those areas, keep that in mind. Watch your local forecaster for that. But farther north, we're going to have a trough in the east. This should eventually pick up Isaac and bring the moisture farther to the northeast. But of course, if it comes far enough west, it would pick it up and bring it up farther west than more.
Welcome back to Ag Day. Mike, it's kind of been a case of have and have nots. Either you've had a lot of rain or you have not, or you have heat or you don't.
Well, and that is true. And if you've seen this pattern before, it's because it looks the same as most of the last 3 weeks overall. Big ridge out west, trough in the east, and that's going to keep it on the cool side for the Great Lakes in the northeast. And occasionally then you get cool across the northern and central plains into the southeast as well in a pattern like this. But the real heat gets centered over Texas and the desert southwest in this of a pattern. Notice as we head through the middle of the week and on through the latter parts of next week, another trough moving through the Great Lakes into the northeast will keep it cool in those areas. The ridge trying to come a little farther east as we head through this week, which may bring some of that heat into the southern Mississippi Valley and parts of the southeast as we head through the week. Trough trying to dig in out west. That doesn't look nearly as strong as the one just southeast of Hudson Bay, however. Here are the temperatures that I'm expecting then for this week. A huge chunk of the country, including the entire Corn Belt, expected to be below normal, as you can see, from the Continental Divide of Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming all the way eastward to the East Coast and down into Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. So this is a large area of below normal temperatures expected for this coming week.